Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and in this video today we're going to be looking at various Corsair products. This K70 keyboard, we have a Sabre mouse, and we've got a headset as well. They were sent into the channel by Hayley, and she bought them from Facebook Marketplace, and she says that the keyboard randomly disconnects, repeats characters, and the backlight is inconsistent. About 10 keys have different colours that really don't change when configured as different colours in ICUE. So I've downloaded that on the computer and I will show you that now. Let's start on the keyboard and then we'll work on the other ones here. Now, as far as the random button presses, this is just on Windows 10. When I've been using it, everything seems to work fine. So for example, this will mute, you can do volume up and down here, which is really nice. Different brightness levels here. From the little bit of using that I've done, I think the keyboard itself is fine, but definitely the lights are not changing color on certain keys. So let me show you that now. Right, if you have a look here now, I've set it to a white background, and yet these keys here are all in blue or cyan, and then we have a red key, a red key, a red key, yellow, yellow, and cyan again, and cyan here as well. And watch this, if I change it to red, can you see that these keys, well, it highlights it better there, these haven't changed. So these are not changing no matter what, which I think is quite interesting. So why is that? They're not clearly getting the signal to change. So they're just remembering what they were set at when it went faulty. Now what I've done is I've tried to do a little reset. There's a little hole at the back here. Yeah, and I've gone in there and I've pressed in, tried to reset it. I've held down the escape key while plugging it in, and also I've redone the software as well. It said it was already up to date, but I forced the software update on it and it went through, and again when it came back on it was just like this. So I don't think it's a software problem in this instance. I think it's an actual hardware thing. So my guess is, could it be water damaged, and is there a trace somewhere which has broken through? I think it should be quite interesting. So let's bring it over to the mat and see if we can get this working again. So first things first, I have to take off all the keys because there's hidden little screws under here. So I'm going to take loads of pictures so I know where each key goes. And these just pull off. Now I can't do a keyboard repair and not mention Felipe from MrKeybs.com. He loves his keyboards. You recognise that name because he's part of the My Mate Vince Massive, which I will shout out a little bit later in the video. So yeah, check out his channel if you like keyboards. Now annoyingly, there's also a little screw hidden under here and under the badge as well. So basically, it's going to be obvious that somebody's been in here because there's no way, that's like a kind of foil type badge. There's no way that's going to come off and lie back down flat again. So what might have happened is I haven't actually looked at this. This has been with me for, I think, about 3 or 4 months now. So maybe something's dried out from when Hayley bought it. So that might be why she was getting kind of like random duplicate presses and stuff like that, while I'm not, because maybe something has dried out since then. Come on, come out. Doesn't want to come out. There we go. Right, so that's plastic. So you can see the little screw there. And annoyingly, there's going to be a screw just under this left-hand bit as well. So I'm going to apply some heat to it. And I've got to try to prise it up. What a place to hide a screw. I'm under. Right, I'm just going to bend it to there. That actually came off easier than I thought. That was a nightmare though. Right, let's undo all the screws. It's lovely how it's all made out of metal. Right, that's all the screws undone. I did like this at the back. I seen the warning. Some experts believe that the use of any keyboard may cause serious injury. I love that. Some experts. In other words, Corsair don't believe that. Right, have we got another screw somewhere? Oh yeah, one here. Woo, dusty. Wow, that is dusty. That's nice, little rubber. Look at that little rubber membrane thing there. Oh, that's to put pressure. Look at that there. To put pressure against that membrane. To connect up this little volume, not the volume board. This one here with the mute and the multimedia ones. These ones here. They connect it to there as well. Not sure what that's for. Well, I'm just going to vacuum clean this up. There's glitter and all sorts down here.
And speaking about vacuum cleaners, I have a drop lot of them coming up in a future video. And speaking about my videos, you will know that the sponsor of my channel is PCBWay. What a way to link. This video here is sponsored by PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop solution for all things PCB fabrication and assembly. From rapid prototyping to full-scale production, PCBWay delivers top quality products. So whether you're a seasoned engineer or a hobbyist just starting out, PCBWay's user-friendly interface makes ordering your own custom PCBs very easy. And PCBWay do a variety of different services, including but not limited to assembling your PCBs, CNC machining, 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and injection moulding. So when you're ready to take your designs to the next level, look no further than PCBWay and bring your ideas to life. So a massive thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring the My Mate Vince channel. Now let's get on with the vacuum cleaning.
Oh, that looks like water damage, does it not? You see that white thing there? Okay, so let's bear that in mind. This is the switch for the BIOS at the back, the BIOS switch. So I have to make sure that's in the right position when I put it back on. Oh, look at that. Can you see there's one here as well? So it looks like on another model, there must be something that goes across here, because there's another little cutout for another membrane. Yeah. Well, I can't see anything with my eye. Let's zoom right in. Have a quick scan about the place. See, I think a lot of that is just flux. Yeah, that's just flux. Now that reminds me of the chip when I was doing the MSI keyboard. So I think one of the traces is not getting to where it is, and maybe all the ones that are on the same colour are all part of the same trace. Because you know a keyboard's on a kind of matrix, isn't it? Like let's say if you had 50 keys, you're not going to have 50 different traces back from each key. Let's look back at the video and see what keys are coming up as different colours. And then let's see if we can trace those ones, you know? No, I can't see anything obvious. Do you know what? There is more buttons, isn't there? All these ones under here. So there could be something under here that I can't see. So let's undo these boards. Hopefully this might release the plastic. No, I just think that is just flux residue again, isn't it? None of those traces are eaten through. So looking back at the video, it is this key here, which is a different colour, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this one here, and then it goes down here. This one is also a different colour. So let's just start on this one here. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keys along from the right hand side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's this one here. Now, is this one the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this one here, 7 along here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see if these two have any continuity between them. So I've just got my meter set to continuity. No. Okay, so that's linked to there. Now, is that going to come up on here at all? Yeah. There. Is that going to come up on here? No. Right, so that one is here. Now, what about this one? Here. That's weird. See, what I'm not too sure about is this isn't just doing the button inputs like, you know, P, Q, etc. It's also doing the LEDs, isn't it? So the very fact if the buttons are working, which they are, says to me that it's not going to be a problem with the tracks. Because are the tracks not running down the same thing as the LED? See, that's what I'm not sure about. I mean, there's only two contacts on each key, so that means it has to be the light and the button impresses on those two contacts. Has to be. I'm just going to look up what these 3 chips do. Well, that's interesting. Do you see these 3 chips here? The 32181. It looks like they're responsible for the LEDs because I've typed that in and it says here that it's Panasonic 12x12 dot matrix LED driver IC. So it can drive up to 48 RGB LEDs. So it's these that's doing the driving. Unless one of these have failed. That could be possible, couldn't it? But I suppose this still has to give these the signal, does it not? Because this is the thing that does the inputs. But if the inputs are working when you press them for actual characters, that means then that this must be working. It must be one of these that's faulty. I was thinking that this thing here is doing everything, but clearly it's not because we have 3 separate chips for the dot matrix for the LEDs. So basically, the lights are not built into the switch, are they? The lights are going to be built into the circuit board themselves, which is a real shame because it's on the wrong side and I can't get to it. So now, the problem could still be to do with these chips. One of these chips, maybe on one particular pin, it's not outputting correctly to tell that one to change. Or, I think what's going to happen is there's been some sort of water damage, and I think there's going to be some corrosion on the line that feeds, you know, these ones that are connected together. So, unfortunately, I think that we have to unsolder every single one. But before I do that, because that's going to be really painful, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take these 3 chips off, and I think I'm going to put them back in a different place. So for example, take this one off and put it here, take this one off and put it here, and take this one off and put it here. And then if I plug it back into the PC and all of a sudden we have these here not working or these here not working, then I know it's something to do with the chips. If we still have the faulty ones here, going down here, and this one here, then I know it's nothing to do with the chips, and I know it's something to do with the traces, which I think is going to be the case. But it's much easier for me to just move these 3 around than undo every single key, because realistically that's going to probably take about an hour and a half off desoldering, I would think. So that's what I'm going to do to begin with, is I'm just going to swap these chips about, and let's see if the problem is still the same as it is now. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just fast forwarding through it. I'm just unsoldering each of the chips, putting them in order on my desk, and then putting them back in a different order, because it's so much easier than unsoldering however many keys there are times 2, because each key has 2 solder contacts. It's just such a shame you can't get to the other side of the board easily, but you can't. While I'm doing that, we'll shout out the My Mate Vince Massive. They are the top level Patreons. The massive members this month are kitdigital.com, Kip Hakes, Max Rokotansky, Chris Seal, Felipe at MrKeebs.com, DJ VG, Pigsy, Anthony Dean, Bazza2, Russ Melanson, Gaspar Heller, Ricard Bergland, Soul Reaver 555, the My Mate Vince Fan Club, Shamsa Al Sawadi, and Stuart Park. So as always, a massive thank you to the My Mate Vince Massive, and of course all the other Patreons. So basically we've swapped these chips over now. Let's bring it back to the PC and see if the lights light up in the same order or not. Worried because this light was flashing here, but I just googled it. It's a scroll lock. It means it's in BIOS mode. So if I put it back to here, watch this, it will all come back to life again. But can you see we're on the white background and we still have this row here not behaving itself. You can clearly see now without the keys on, this should be white everywhere. So something is definitely not right. You know what I'm going to have to do? I think, because we've swapped the chips over, haven't we? Put them in different places and it's still the same problem. I think we're going to have to, let me just double check. Let me put it on to red. Yeah, there we go. We're going to have to unsolder every single key. Oh, I dread to think how many there are. 16. So it's roughly going to be about 20, 40, 80. There's going to be about 110 or something keys to unsolder. But I'm adamant now that what's happened is it's been water damaged. And I think we're going to find 1 or 2 traces that have been eaten through. So basically, although it is a functioning keyboard, I personally would probably just leave it as a functioning keyboard. But this is a video, so we need to try to get it fixed. So let's unsolder every single key, and then let's see if we can find out why these ones are not responding the same as the other keys. Oh, it's painful. So painful. Give me a Game Gear to recap any day. Anyway, as you can imagine, loads of them are not coming out. They're just kind of blocked up, even though I've added leaded solder. But look, I've just worked out what to do, and I think I'm going to use this technique in the future. So the ones that don't clear out, so that one cleared out. Let me just wait until one doesn't clear out and I'll show you what I'm doing. And I think this is better than having to use a separate soldering iron. They're all going to behave themselves now. They are all behaving themselves. What's going on? Oh, come on. It's weird I have to keep filming, because when I wasn't filming, every other one was getting blocked up. Now they're all cleared out. Ah, oh, come on. Okay, well that's not quite clear. So all I'm doing is, look, put it on here and then just add a little bit of leaded solder while this is on here. And it saves me having to get a separate iron then to do that, because that's still working its way into the hole. And that way then it will clear itself out, because the leaded will mix with the unleaded and make it easier to come out. There you go, that's a good one. Right, see that there? It doesn't matter how long I leave that on there, that's not going to clean itself out. Yep. But now watch. Feed it in. Oh no, you can't see. Feed it in here. And now it comes out. Isn't that nice? See you in 7 hours. Look at that, I just cleared out my desolder station. It was full. The last one. The last one. Oh, it's been an epic. It's been at least an hour and a half. So a feature-length film of me unsoldering. Or is it desoldering? I suppose it's called a desolder station, isn't it? Hallelujah. Oh, my wrist. My wrist. Oh, 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 oh my, oh, that's gone. It's gone. My wrist. Oh, that was horrible. That was painful, painful, painful. I had to turn off the desolder station about 4 times because it just seemed to be getting really, really warm. I don't think it's designed to be on for hours on end like that. Oh, right, a couple of keys have already fallen out this side. So now, are you going to come out, or do I have to do loads more desoldering? Easy now, Vince, easy now. That was good though. Come on. Right, we're stuck. Oh, you annoying thing, there's one more here. Oh, that's when I went to unblock it, I think. Yes. Right, the moment of truth. Please see corrosion. Please, please, please. Yes! Yes, yes, yes. I can see a little bit there, or is it just surface corrosion? Right, let's place this gently down. Right now, I can't even remember which way is up. This must be up, yes? And it was these ones here that were not working. Right, let's zoom in and see what's happening. I think a lot of this is just dirt. For example, over here, this is just dirt, isn't it? Now I'm getting worried. I think a lot of them are just dirty. Right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum clean this board because there's dirt all over it. I can't really see, there's kind of crumbs and stuff all over it, which you would expect. Right, well we know this one's not working, so let's have a close look at this one here. Well, it's very hard to see because it's so dirty. So we've got 3 pads up top and 3 pads at the bottom, haven't we? That's 6 pads in total. Because look, here's an empty one, just here. Yes, that's a nice clean one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. Now it does look corroded, does it not? Underneath. So maybe if they're in series with each other, then it's not going to pass the signal through from one to another. I mean, that does not look healthy, does it? Right, let's look at the other one. It was up top, wasn't it? It was this one here, I believe. See, that looks absolutely fine. So let's zoom out and let's see if that one's connected to the bottom one. No, it doesn't appear to be connected. Oh, I thought it was going to be something really obvious. Right, it looks a bit crusty down in this corner here. Do you know what, I'm going to put it this way around to make it easier for me. I wonder if those pads broken through there. Yeah, they're definitely corroded, aren't they? Yeah, these ones are okay. So this bottom corner's got it. So maybe, you see, it's not sending a signal through to the rest on that kind of matrix line. That doesn't look good at all, does it? Could this be our problem? I think we should look at it through the microscope so we can get a real close look. Oh, this is really infuriating, and it's not the first time it's happened. You can clearly see here I've got a red light flashing on my microscope, so it is recording. So it's not that I'm forgetting to press record, but if you don't turn it off in the proper sequence, it completely wipes what you've just done. It's so irritating, and it can't just be happening to me. Whoever owns these microscopes, it must be happening to so many people. So when you stop recording, it's easy. To record, you press OK. To stop recording, you press OK. That's fine. Then you've got to turn it off from the screen. Then you've got another power switch further back that you turn it off from. If you stop recording by pressing OK and go straight to the power switch, on my microscope at least, it just wipes it. It's so irritating. I'm going through data recovery now. It's just been doing the data recovery for over an hour, and it's not finding it whatsoever, because I don't think it's a problem where it's on the SD card and the SD card's failing because I've put a new SD card in this after it going wrong the last time. It's the fact that it just wipes it completely, which is weird because you can see it's recording now. The red light's there recording, so you think it would be on the SD card, but I cannot find it, which is so irritating. Anyway, bottom line, I have got microscope footage on the next time I'm recording, which is going to be in about 10 minutes time, so I'll show you that. Bottom line is that I scrape all around these LEDs. It's the LEDs that have failed. Clearly it's been water damaged. There's corrosion all around the pins, so the LEDs are not working. So what I do is I get my bench power supply, I set it to a very low voltage, and we should have 3 different colours on here. RGB, red, green and blue. All those 3 colours will make up every single other colour. So let me show you a bit of footage now from just a top camera filming the microscope that you can't see, and then I'm actually going to show you some microscope footage which is more interesting, of showing you the different colours on the bench power supply, what a working LED looks like and what these failed LEDs look like. So it looks like it's not a trace problem, it looks like water has actually damaged the LEDs themselves, and that's why they're not working. No, what a shame. The LED itself's gone. Right, let's have a look at the one next to it. This one here. So let's scrape here. And here. And let's see. No, not working either. Right, okay, check this out. I know how these LEDs work now. So basically I've got my bench power supply set to 2.4 volts. And if you have a look, if I go across these top two, you can see it's lighting up blue. If I go across the bottom two, it's lighting up green. Now I need to lower this one down because the red lights up on next to nothing. So I'm going to go all the way down to 1.7 volts. And if I go on the middle two, you can see that the red is lighting up. So yeah, so we now know 100% that this one down here isn't doing what it needs to do, because if I go back up to 2.6 volts, let's say, if I go across here and here, we should have blue. Let's see what colours we've got. So we haven't got blue there. We haven't got green there, but we have got red. Oh, okay. You know what? This suddenly makes sense now. So the ones that are lighting up just the kind of cyan colour is probably because RGB makes up every single colour, doesn't it? Like, for example, white would be red, green and blue on. So clearly on some of them, it must be like the blue's not working, and then red and green will make a certain colour, and then on another one maybe red's not working, so green and blue will make a certain colour. I just want to go up to one of these ones that are just lighting up cyan, this one here. Let's just see if this one is lighting up all the colours. Then we'll sort of know, is it the LEDs or is it the data feeding them? Blue, green, red. Okay, so it is actually working. And then it was, I think it was this one here. Green, blue. I'm just going to tap it quickly. There. Yeah, okay. Let's go down to this one. And let's see what colours this is going to do. So this is on its side. So where's plus on this one? Plus is up here. Alright, okay. So this should be red. This should be blue. Yeah. There you go. So on this one, the green's not working. The red is working. Blue's not working. And you can see they're actually discoloured. Oh, what a shame. Alright, well, we proved what the fault was. Let me see if you can buy these. Right, I think I found them. Thank God for China. I didn't seem to have any luck when I was typing in UK eBay. But it says here, £3.96 for 100 pieces. I'm not sure about how much. Oh, shipping is £2.20. So that's not too bad. What's that, £6? £6.16 or something? So I am going to buy them. And it says here that they're 1616. I was wondering what that means. And look. It says here 1.6 mil by 1.6 mil, and they do seem to be roughly that size here. A bit hard to tell on this one here. And when I actually go down onto it, it has the polarity here, and we know on our one that the red is in the middle, green's at the bottom, and blue's up top. And look, it's the same here, apart from this says like orange but with an R. But yeah, I think they are the same ones. And if you actually look, it says that is for the K70 Corsair keyboards, K70 6-pin. So I'm going to order some of these up. Yes, it's going to take a few weeks to arrive, but when they do, I can start putting them on. And I think what's happened here, see, what I was hoping is, if I'd known it was going to be faulty LEDs, I wouldn't have gone this far, because I was hoping it might be one faulty trace that was knocking out that side of the matrix. But in this instance here, what's happened is it's been water damaged, and it's actually damaged individual LEDs. So there's probably going to be about, I don't know, 10 or more LEDs that need swapping over because numerous ones have corrosion. So there is a lot of work involved. But now I've come this far, I might as well get the LEDs just to see if we can get it back up and running again. No sane person would be doing this because what's the point? You've already got your lights on your RGB. It's only if you wanted pure yellow or pure blue you're going to notice them. If you have some cascading effect, realistically you're not going to notice them. But as I say, I've come this far now, so I might as well go a bit further and see if we can get some new LEDs on and then see if it starts working. I might get to the stage where when I take them off there might be complete corrosion underneath. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll just before I buy them, let's take off one of these just to see how corroded the pads are, because maybe the pads are completely eaten through. If they're nice and clean on this one here, there's a good chance and it's going to be okay on the rest of them. Yeah, look at that, it's completely gone there. Really dirty. Really, really dirty. Right, let's see if solder can clean it up. Oh, fair play it has. Well, if that one cleaned up, hopefully then the rest of them should as well, because this was pretty bad. Yeah. Well, I'm going to place that LED back on purely because I want to make sure I know what orientation it goes in. Right, okay, I've been going across them and basically, yeah, I think I only need to replace 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So I took a picture of when it was plugged in just now, and all of the ones that are cyan are testing okay. All of the ones that are yellow, red, and these two are completely dead now, are not testing okay. So I think because there's faulty ones in circuit on the matrix, however it works, I reckon it's throwing the cyan ones out, and I think when we replace the others, then they will get the correct reading. For example, if I was to go across this cyan one up here, which is this one, check it out. If I go across the bottom, it will be green, and you can see it's lighting up green, red, and blue. Yeah, I'm only holding on for a second. But now, if we go across this one, which is red, you can see that we've got no blue, we do have red, and we've got no green. And if I go onto a yellow one, which is this one here, we will have no blue, but we will have green and red, but no blue. But yet if we pick a cyan one again, which is this one here, we will have all the colours. Blue, red. I think I just burnt that one out. I just burnt that one out. Okay, I'm not going to do any more. Right, so I need to replace that one as well. But you get the idea. Let me quickly do this one here. I think it's because I shorted, because normally I look through my eye loop when I do this. So we've got blue, red, green. like that. I think basically I have to put 2.5 volts in to get blue, and I think that's too much on red when you haven't got the current limited. So yeah, that's it. I need to replace them. Then when I replace them, I think this keyboard's going to work, unless we have some other issue with the cyan, but I don't think we do. I think it's because it's all in circuit together. So yeah, when they arrive, we'll get them soldered in and we'll see what happens.
Well, it doesn't feel like it's been long at all, but time is whizzing by in my life. I think it's only been about a week, and these have arrived all the way from China, which is just amazing. So I've got 100 of them to play with. So I'm going to get the microscope, but we're going to see how easy or hard this is. I might need to use the micro pencil for this, which is a lot smaller, but that might not put enough heat into the board here. So I'll try it with the normal soldering iron. It's just the normal soldering iron is kind of like near enough as big as the LED itself, but I've got plenty to waste. It doesn't matter, I've got 100 of them. So if I end up burning the first few while I'm experimenting what's best to use, I don't mind. So I'm going to do this under the microscope. Right, so they're the pads at the bottom. As you can see, they're absolutely tiny. I wonder, would it be worth me tinning them up to begin with? I presume it probably would it not? I think it might be.
I am absolutely gutted. Guess what? That's right, no microscope footage again. I cannot believe this. I know what's happening here. I'm pressing OK because I always check it's recording, and then I press OK to stop. But out of habit, I'm reaching back to the main switch to turn it off instead of turning off the microscope at the actual panel, and that will then say goodbye in some green kind of gary looking screen. Then you're supposed to turn it off at the very back to get rid of the lights. But what happens is, with my setup, is every time I turn it on at the mains, this microscope comes on, and I, out of habit, always have to reach the kill switch, the one at the very back, to turn it off, because otherwise the lights are blaring away for the whole time that I'm filming, and I very rarely use the microscope. So I think out of habit I'm reaching back and doing a kill switch instead of just doing that simple thing about pressing on and off on the microscope. In fact, I'll show you a little bit of footage of it now. But the thing is that they need to make it more idiot proof. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking there might be a way around this where I actually plug in the microscope separately than the lighting, because this isn't the first time it's happened, and it's going to happen again and again and again. And do you know what? This is happening to thousands of people worldwide. It's just that not many people are YouTubers, and they're like, oh, that's annoying, I wanted that footage and now it's gone. But when you're a YouTuber, this is your video, and now you've got a whole section here which doesn't make any sense whatsoever because you can't see what happened. Honestly, I'm absolutely gutted. I'm going to show you the microscope now. I bought this out of my own money, even though I've been offered them many times for review. And when people review them, they're probably reviewing them after a few days use, and they might not have even realised this. But I think it's a major, major downside of this. I think I get why they've just got it powered from one power supply. I do get that. I mean, I don't know, obviously it's my fault, it is user error, it's happening to me over and over again, and I don't quite know how I'm going to stop that from happening because I'm aware of the problem. It's just like muscle memory, I just reach behind and turn it off. I'll show you what the problem is. So if you look here, we have the feed. This is the feed that's plugged into the mains, and it goes into this switch here. This switch will do the lighting, so you can see when I go up and down, it's making it lighter and dimmer, and it will also turn on and off the microscope, just like that. But can you see it didn't say goodbye, it just basically turned itself straight off. So let's turn that back on now, and then this should now come on in a few minutes. There you go, welcome, not minutes, seconds. And what happens is, from this, one lead goes to the back here, this is feeding the lights, and then the other lead goes up to here, which is like a mini USB, I think it is, from memory. And basically the way you record is, I mean, it's a lovely picture. The way you record is you just hit OK, and then you can see it comes up here, and it's doing it there. And then what you're supposed to do is hit OK, which I always do, and you can see it goes to there. But then what you should do is this, you should hit this, and then, oh no, sorry, hold this down, and then basically it goes to goodbye. Then you do this here to kill the lights, yeah? But I think what I'm doing is this, and this caused me so much bother. Right, so I think I'm pressing OK, and it's recording, and then I press stop, and then I'm like, right, okay, let's blah blah blah, and I think I'm automatically reaching over here and doing that, and that's it. That recording has now gone.
But what I don't quite understand is, if I've stopped it, why has it gone? That's what's kind of weird. But that's what I'm doing, and it's gone from that. So what I'm wondering is, maybe I need to power this separately. So if I was just to get a mini USB, no, oh sorry, it is micro USB, and power it from a separate switch, then it doesn't matter if I do this, because all that's doing is killing the lights. And I presume then it's going to work just fine, because I haven't shut this down by doing this here. So I think I'm going to have to do that, because obviously it's spoiling the, in my opinion, it's spoiling the videos. So what I've got here is just some token footage of these tiny little LEDs, and they really are absolutely tiny. In fact, if you look closely, you can see the bond wires on there, which is quite nice. And this is the side that I need to actually solder. So that's the top bit which shines the LEDs out. And this is what I need to solder onto. You can see there's 6 pads there. Interestingly, on some of them, I had, they were slightly cut wrong, where there wasn't really much pads on the top of them. So they weren't able to be used. But yeah, there you go, it's pinged off. This is incredibly small. I know it looks big on your screen, but in a few seconds now I'm going to bring my finger in, and you can see that if this was on your fingernail, it would, well, it would look a little bit odd, but it wouldn't look much different than a piece of dirt on your fingernail. It really is unbelievably tiny. There you go, see there? In fact, I've got bits of old Rolls-Royce grease in my fingernails. That's probably bigger than the LED. So yeah, there we have it. Now let me just bring you the normal soldering iron that I use, and you'll be able to see the difference. Can you see there? Can you see how big the tip is compared to that? So that's the normal one, and this is the micro one. So when I do the soldering, I do use the micro one. I have to use the micro one. I don't think you'd be able to do it with a normal soldering iron, because it's just far too big. These components are tiny, and that's what makes them awkward to solder in. But anyway, I did solder them in. I soldered in, I think, 9 of them, and I only wasted a couple of them, and I think there was another 2 that looked like they'd been cut incorrectly. So not bad, because I got 100 of these for next to no money at all. So yeah, if you've got time on your side, you can repair these keyboards without too much expense, which is good. Anyway, so I've replaced the ones that I know are not lighting up properly, and now the next bit of footage you're going to see is when I'm plugging it in to see if it's made any difference.
Well, this is weird. Look at it there, you think, brilliant, it's all the same, it's all on blue, yeah? But now when I go to yellow, can you see? There's still that row down there. That's not making sense. And this one, and this one. That one looks a different colour. That one looks weird. That one looks weird. And that one looks weird. What on earth is going on? We definitely had faulty LEDs. Mind you, to be fair, the ones down here, they're now okay, aren't they? Let me go to blue. So those 2 are fixed. Right, I'm going to mark up these ones here. Here, 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 and here. And see on diode test, do they read different than the others? Maybe there's something else gone on here as well. It's very strange. Well, it's strange. Some of the ones that I've marked, like this one here and this one here, are ones that I've replaced already. Now, there is a chance that the new ones could be faulty, as in, like, they might not be showing blue. I just think it's highly unlikely. But anyway, there are others, I've got it on diode test, like this one here, which is next to the one that I've replaced. That will work on a little red light, yeah, but it won't work on the green light. And if I go to the new one on the green light, you can see that it's lighting up there. So I need to replace that one. I think what I'm going to do is replace the ones that I definitely know are faulty, like this one here, and I'll go across others. If I don't get the green and the red light, I'll replace them. I've got to be careful with the blue, because when I put voltage in, it's going to burn in this. Maybe I could do it with a 100 ohm resistor or something, on connect it to it, and maybe that would stop it from burning out. But anyway, I'll do that, because what I'm still hoping is, by replacing one, it might allow the path through, but I don't know how it's been wired. I think they're all individual. I know that the keys are on a matrix. I'm not so sure about these, because I think you can choose individual keys to do different things. So I think maybe they're all individual, in which case then I honestly haven't got a clue what's going on. I mean, maybe when some of them burnt out, that they took that they maybe took out part of this one here, or part, but I've swapped these over and the faults remain. So, you know, for all I know, it still could be a problem here. Anyway, leave it with me for a bit. I'm going to definitely change out this one, and I'll go across all the others and see if any of them are faulty, and I'll change out them as well.
Well, this is interesting. They must be linked because I've just changed 2 of them over. One from here somewhere and one from here. I can't exactly see now that they're lit up. And you can see now they're all white. So the only thing that's not right as far as I can see is this little key down here is constantly green no matter what. Maybe it's supposed to be. I need to double check on the keyboard what that actual key is. It just says pad on it. So I need to see what that is. But check this out. That's that colour. If I was to go to yellow, we now have yellow everywhere, apart from that one there. But as far as I can see, they all look to be the same colour now, which is great. And blue. Blue always looked fine anyway. So I'm just going to have a little look, see why this is green, because this is one that I've replaced, unless I've somehow soldered the wires together incorrectly. So I might just change that one, see if it starts working. Hip hip hooray! I changed it over. So maybe either the LED was faulty, or realistically, I probably shorted some pads underneath it. Maybe I added too much solder to those ones. But there you go, you can see red, white, and there's no greens now, and yellow, and blue. So perfect, you can see that they're all coming across with the correct colour. So I'm really happy now that that's not green anymore. So it just goes to show you somehow they are linked. If a couple of them are faulty, they can knock out whole rows. They still must be working on some kind of matrix, which is interesting. I need to put it all back together now, which is going to take ages because I've got to solder up every single one of these. So I'm sure there's at least an hour's work in that. So yeah, I just need to put this back on and get soldering. Hopefully though, at the end we will now have a working keyboard. Fingers crossed. No, I'm not sure how easy this is going to go on, and I need to remember to do those 3 keys as well. Because annoyingly, you've got to get every single point in here, haven't you? There we go. Well, I suppose I'll know as I go along. But I think they might be in. Now just quickly, if I can't find one of the legs, like this one here, bent over so I couldn't solder it, then what you can do is just unsolder the other leg, or if you haven't soldered it, then you don't need to do anything. You can prise it up from here, you see, because there might be the odd leg that hasn't, you know, when I'm forcing down the PCB, there might be the odd leg that doesn't, that bends out of the way rather than goes through the hole. But there you go, you can see now that that's upright. So that should go through the hole. Boom! And we're through the hole there now. And I'm adding plenty of solder in there to make sure it goes right down into it, because with all the whacking it might be easy to get a cold solder joint. It is actually incredibly quick once you get going, and I've been lucky. I've only had to undo about 5 keys so far. So watch this, I'm going to do this little row here. It's nice because you just feed, if the solder's straight you can just feed it right in. So clean the tip, check this out. Heat it up and just watch. Feed off, feed off. So it's just really, really quick. I must say, Margot's very persistent today. Gonna have to change her dress.
So luckily I had the sense to take a photo of the keys before I took them all off, so I can just refer to that to put them all back on again. I have to add a little bit of sticky tape to the Corsair sign up the top after I've put the screw back in. It actually blends in alright. I cut it with a knife, a nice sharp knife, to make sure you can't see any of the sticky tape, and I don't think you would notice that it was taken apart unless you were to look closely. I think if somebody was just using it, they wouldn't think what on earth is going on here. So that's it, the keyboard is
finally put back together. It has been a bit of an epic repair, but let me finally show you the lights doing what they're supposed to do. Right, luckily it's working just fine. The keyboard beforehand appeared to be working fine anyway, but now all the lights are working. So I've done keyboard tester. Everything is coming up. This here is nice because it puts something on mute and then you can do your volume here. That's very nice. One thing I don't understand is this one here. I don't know what that red Windows key is. That goes between like a blue and a red. Not too sure. And this is the brightness. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different settings on that. And you can see it going all different colours there. So now let's go to white, and you can see it is white everywhere. Every single key is now white, which is fantastic. And let's go to red. See, every key is now red. Obviously apart from those ones up here. And yellow. So isn't that great? It was just faulty LEDs from water damage. And blue. And now let's do some kind of rainbow effect. You can see that it's happily doing what it wants to do. And go to abstract. And liquid. There we go. So result, very, very happy with that one. It took a lot of time, but at least it's fixed. It's worthwhile doing something when you get a positive result, and very little money was spent on it. Those LEDs don't cost much. I mean, I bought 100 of them, so I've got loads more spare now for future fixes. And you can't beat having spares, because I hate waiting for things to arrive. So I'm well happy with that. I think I like the white one the best. Just like that. I think that looks really, really nice. Right, let's move on to the next one. Now, originally this was just going to be one long video, but there's just way too much footage, so I've had to split it into 2 parts. Part 1 is the one you've just watched about the keyboard. Part 2 is going to be the headset and the mouse. The headset caused me problems as well. A really unusual thing on the headset that I'm struggling to get my head round. So that's a little bit of a tease, but hopefully you'll go on to watch part 2 and find out what's going on with this headset. So now, with this one here, I think it was worth fixing. There's a lot of labour that went into it, but there's only been about £1 worth of LEDs. I appreciate I had to spend more than that, but then I've got a load of spares. So as long as you don't take your time into account, you too can get your LED keyboard working again. It's great to know that you can buy these spares. And at this moment in time, this keyboard is working perfectly, and it is a lovely keyboard, and it's a shame to put it into landfill for the sake of some LEDs that are not lighting up the correct colour. But if your setup's all white or all yellow or all blue, I can see why it would annoy you to have certain keys in different colours. It's not going to look clean, is it? So yeah, some people would dump this keyboard because of the faulty LEDs, which seems a massive shame. So apart from the labour that's gone into it, they are fully fixable, which is great news. This one here, because it's water damage, could end up fading again in other areas. Maybe other LEDs are just barely hanging on, and then in a few weeks or months they may fade again. But you never know, it might go on to work for years to come, fingers crossed. So that is it for part 1. If you enjoyed it, give it a massive thumbs up. Massive thank you to Hayley for sending these over to me. And please stick around for part 2 and see what happens with the headset and also the mouse, and see at the end of it how many products we can actually get working, because all 3 of them are faulty. It'd be nice to see if all 3 can be fixed again. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.